What's happening, sports fans? We continue to try and find ways to talk sports. We're doing another top recruit interview. That one down there that we will now bring full screen is Lila Browne. She is a Bishop's multi-sport star. Don't know why that was hard to say, but she's committed to go play field hockey at Dartmouth next year. So first thing we got to ask you, other than saying thank you for being on, is do you just love the snow? Are you tired of sunny and 70? Congratulations. Academic institution, great sports, everything. But upstate Vermont or New Hampshire or Vermont?
New Hampshire. It's right on the border.
Upstate New Hampshire is a cold and dark place for several months out of the year. So thank you for joining us. Congratulations. And let's start there with the decision to commit. Why Dartmouth?
Well, to answer your question first, I haven't seen the snow a ton. I've seen it a few times, and I really liked it. But my dad has relatives on Long Island, and I always knew I wanted to go to the East Coast for college. And I like it when it rains. I don't know if I'll be able to say the same winter of next year when I'm completely head to toe in some sort of like sleeping bag jacket. But I wanted to change from sunny all the time. And I really, really, when I visited campus, it's a beautiful campus. I'm not a big city person, hence Dartmouth, because it's pretty,
It's rural.
the campus yes, that's a good way to describe it. It's rural, but it's super beautiful. A lot of outdoor activities. So I love the campus, and obviously it's a great school, an amazing school, so many great opportunities, especially for student athletes. When I was there, I really got this sense that they encourage you to be a student first and then an athlete, which was really important to me. For example, they let their athletes travel abroad, which was going to be something that I knew was hard to find in a D1 program just because they usually want you on campus. So I thought that that was a really good testament to like their school first and their tradition of like academic excellence.
I know what you're saying. I had to get a very abridged version of study abroad when I was in college because I could get literally only 4 weeks during the summer was all that I was allowed to do, and the rest of the year I had to be on campus. I will go back and I will say, I got to ask, when did you take your trips to Dartmouth? Because you say you've seen the snow a couple times. Did you go out there in the summer and fall in love with it? As I spill my coffee all over our studio. Did you go out there in the summer and fall in love with it? Or did you go in the winter and have you actually seen it at its worst, like mid-February?
I have not seen it at its worst in mid-February. So I visited in March, I think 2, maybe 3 years ago. But then last year I visited in March and May. So it wasn't,
Okay, so they've
there was
suckered
some
you in.
snow.
So they've suckered you in. As somebody that went to Syracuse and got that whole like I visited in early November, and I thought I can handle the snow. They're pulling a switcheroo on you there.
There was snow on the ground. It was cold. One morning I woke up and it was 26 degrees.
Fair enough.
I was like, oh, I gotta get to the car.
Well, and then that was, you mentioned the clothing. You'll be head to toe in just one giant layer of black. It is nice having to be able to do layers. There's a little more fashion available in the cold weather. So that's the silver lining to all that.
It's a good way to look at it.
Exactly. You mentioned the student athlete. That's a really interesting word for what I want to ask you. And I was hoping you could maybe speak a little bit to the kids out there that are freshmen, sophomores, eighth grade, anyone that's younger right now that's trying to figure out how do I manage the next couple of years in terms of still taking those classes and getting myself recruited and doing all of the different things that you want to do in life. What are maybe a couple of tips you can give people in terms of maybe it's time management, how to prioritize, just what maybe worked for you to help you get to this place?
Well, I didn't start playing club field hockey until sophomore year, so I kind of got on the recruiting track a little bit later than most people in terms of deciding that I wanted to play a sport in college. So one thing I would say is even if you think that you're going to play a sport in college, still take those hard classes or challenge yourself to whatever is good for you. And still focus on getting those good grades because you never know. Maybe you'll decide that you want to go to this school instead or you don't want to play a sport anymore. And it's always good to have those good grades because it's just one less thing it's just, I don't know, it's a good thing for a coach to look at and see that not only are you committed to what you do on the field, but you also value what you do off the field, especially if you're looking to go to a school that's academically rigorous, just them knowing that you have that time management, which is really important, I will say. I think that one thing I've learned in high school is time management. I don't know, seeing teachers during free periods, always making sure to get my work done after school, keeping my phone in another room when I study. I find that that is a big one. That's a good tip for everyone out there.
That last one sounds almost impossible to do. So bravo on you for being able to put the phone down to do the homework. I think that everybody out there that's listening, pay a lot of attention to this. This girl does a ton of stuff, and she still made it to that next level. There's too many people right now telling you you only have to focus on this one sport from freshman year. Do a lot of things. It'll work out if you put the effort in and take care of it on that front. I want to talk a little bit about field hockey. To the Dartmouth fan base, kind of introduce yourself in terms of what you hope to contribute and bring to the team in the next couple of years.
Well, being from California, field hockey is not a big California sport, or it's more of an East Coast sport. So I hope that maybe the way I play or the things I've learned will be different and kind of be able to bounce off the things that the other people have been learning on the East Coast to create a fusion. And also the programs in transition right now. They just got a new coach, so I hope to be able to kind of come in during preseason ready. Hopefully that's still on because of coronavirus. But, come in and find my place and help them kind of figure out what the next step is, and obviously to work my hardest and be a team player.
So maybe I'm trying to think of always the right way to word this, because I don't want to ever insult somebody's sport, but like you said, it's not the majorest sport out here. It's not something that everybody universally known. Although I will say that between you guys, San Pasquale, and Sarah, we have some really, really good high-level field hockey being played here in San Diego. So maybe what's a misconception or something you want people to know about field hockey?
Well, it's not lacrosse. You'd be surprised how many times I get asked, or I say, oh, I play field hockey, and they say, oh, is that lacrosse? No, it's not. They're different sports.
Okay, so we'll put that emoji up. Not lacrosse.
No. Yeah. I don't know. I just want them to know that out here, even though it's not as big of a sport, there's great programs, great training, great people. So it's still definitely something you can pursue if it's what you're interested in. And I would say it's more like soccer, but with a small ball and a stick.
I'll say it has a tad bit of it. It does slow down a little bit at times. There'll be scrums and whatever, but it also has a ball and a stick being swung very hard. So there are some very exciting players that generate some moments where either you see a girl taking a stick to the face and then being like, no, that doesn't faze me. I'm not going to slow down from that. Like, you see some intense stuff where there actually are the occasional moments where you're like, this is not just a bunch of people kind of like pushing a stick up a field. And it's something that I encourage everybody, get out there and check out some of the top programs. You'll have to watch, obviously, her next year on television from the other side of the country, but there's great programs up and coming. Last question I got to ask is, we were talking to Courtney Anderson, one of your teammates, a couple days ago, and she mentioned Coach Carr. The first story that came to mind with her was the blue tape all over her desk. Would you agree that is your favorite funny memory of Coach Carr? Is there a second one? Because that woman is more charged up and energetic than any coach I've met.
That is, I think that is a good, that's a good story if you're looking to kind of like think about her essence in one story. She's really energetic. She gets us all really fired up. I'm lucky to have her as a coach because she always is really excited to work with us, which obviously you need a head coach that's excited about that. And she's always listening to what I have to say or what my teammates have to say to, change the drill or do something different, which I appreciate.
Well, and we appreciate you making a little bit of time with us. I know I said that last one was the last question, but I'll hit you on one on the way out. Give us some tips on how to pass the time. What are you doing right now with your life? Are you a reader? Are you playing video games? You listen to music? Give us something that you're doing to pass the time.
Well, I've made a list of books that I wanted to kind of start to read over this quarantine period. I've been watching Gilmore Girls. I've been
from the start
running.
Or is this a rewatching? From the very beginning, or is this rewatching?
I watched season 1 a while ago, but I didn't really connect with it. But during this time period, I thought I might
Yeah,
as well
because
give it
that's
a
my
really good look.
generation. So I'm always curious when I hear
Oh, did you
people.
watch it?
No, no. No.
You should.
No,
You should.
if you watched more of this show colloquially, you would understand that none of us are in touch with our touchy-feely sides. I did get confused a little bit for the James Van Der Beek look when I was in high school because of the long hair, but no, I never watched it all the way through. But I'm just always curious when kids will pick shows that are throwbacks now, and it just makes me feel old, and I wonder how people enjoy the stuff of my time. So hit her up for book recommendations, TV recommendations, field hockey conversations. Thank you so much for being on with us. We will hopefully get a chance to talk with you in person before all this is over, but if not, we will wish you the best of luck at the next level. Folks, a lot of amazing athletes here in San Diego. This top recruit is just another one of them.